will say that Bernie Sanders being black.
You guys are crazy!
You're an animal! Get a job!
To say something like that to myself and a lot of my colleagues is way out of line. It's way out of line. It's way out of line.
Regular order, Mr.
Way out of line.
Regular order.
That's okay, but it's okay, right?
That is not how it
It's
goes.
okay, right?
You hold yourself accountable before you talk about
Hold myself accountable. Hold your own self accountable. How about that? Hold your own self accountable.
Do I look like a member of the Third Reich to you? Byron Donalds didn't flinch. He didn't yell. He just asked one question. And the entire committee room froze. What you're about to see is what happens when leftist hysteria meets a man who refuses to back down. Stay with me.
Do I look like a member of the Third Reich to you, Ms. Tlaib? Is that what I look like to you?
You're the one taking your voting card.
Is that what you think? Is that what you think? Is that what you think?
No, that's unethical.
I think it's radical and I think it's insane. And I'll respect everything that you say. But to say something like that to myself and a lot of my colleagues is way out of line. It's way out of line. It's way out of line.
Regular order, Mr.
Way out of line.
Regular order.
That's okay. But it's okay, right?
That is not how it
It's
goes.
okay, right?
You hold yourself accountable before you talk about
Hold
Washington,
myself
D.C.
accountable.
Washington,
Hold your own self accountable. How
Keep
about
it out of
that?
your mouth.
Hold your own self accountable. How about that?
Free D.C. and make sure you vote with your own voting card. Don't be giving it to somebody
Ms.
else.
Tlaib, all right, time. Chair recognizes Ms. Boebert from Colorado. Wait a minute, Ms. Boebert. All right, thank you. Chair recognizes Ms. Tlaib from Michigan.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. You know, I think it's really important. I mean, we're talking about, 700,000 people that live here, and I feel like their voice gets completely just dismissed. And so, if I may, Mr. Chair, ask unanimous consent to enter the record. The Washington Post poll of D.C. residents found 8 out of 8 in 10 opposed Trump's taking over of their local police and sending in federal troops.
Without objections ordered.
I think it's also really important to understand, like, the incredible kind of slanderous, like, defamation. I don't know what to call it. They're just burying Washington, D.C. You just heard them speak about our nation's capital in that way, in a way that I feel very much like that's not what I see. I see people walking around with their families, people enjoying time to see these beautiful, incredible, beautiful monuments and everything. And there's a pride here, too. And so I just want to bring the D.C. residents into this committee, because I feel like they are being made invisible. And this really ugly picture that is not reflective. And I'm from Detroit. I've seen it happen to my city. And it's despicable in a way that I feel like really goes up against our values. One of the things that I know in every abuse of power that, we let President Trump and the administration get away with in D.C., it will be replicated. It will be expanded across the country, and it is going to tear apart our communities. It basically interfered with legislation already passed by the local government. Was anyone on this panel consulted? Any of you? Raise your hand if you were consulted on any of these bills. Yeah.
We were not.
One of the things that, AG, I've been listening to you. One of the bills actually eliminates your position completely. What effect would that have? I mean, completely eliminating your position in regards to be able to do the job that you do to protecting all the families in Washington, D.C.
We'll start with the fact that more than 70% of the residents of the District of Columbia overwhelmingly voted for having an independent elected attorney general.
That's right.
And that's a recognition of the fact that when an attorney general is directly accountable to the people, directly responsive to the people, we are much better at doing our job in terms of addressing housing affordability and conditions in slumlords, seniors and consumers who are being scammed, addressing the issues that are most important to D.C. residents, because I am accountable to them.
I read wage theft is an issue, workplace discrimination. I mean, there's a number of issues that need to be addressed, and they're not going to address that. They want to paint you all as this ugly, dark, all just out in the street. I mean, the way it's just unbelievable, because they all live here. I don't see it. I don't see what they see. I don't understand why we're allowing that to happen, because I actually think it's going to hurt our communities. People are going to look at Washington, D.C. folks in a way that I think is going to be very painful, but also, you know, I don't know, Mr. Jackson, I heard the stories. People didn't leave their homes. They weren't leaving their homes. Businesses didn't see people coming into, I mean, that's what we want in our nation's capital. Stay in your house, don't move, don't go anywhere, stay fearful. It's unbelievable that my colleagues continue again to eject this narrative and this rhetoric in regards to, but I think it's important, Mr. Chair, just like in D.C. Home Rule was one out of Black freedom struggle in the fight for civil rights, we can't be passive right now. So nobody over there should take anything we say like so personally as if we're attacking them. No, we're attacking a process. We're not attacking people here. And I think it's really important. We need to stand up against this fascist takeover. That's not a bad word. It's a fact. And here in D.C. and across the country, it is so incredibly important, Mr. Chair, that this committee does not allow rhetoric that defames and or paints Washington, D.C. in a way that you all haven't really truly seen. You're just reading it. No, you're just reading it or something off of some.
Will the gentlelady yield to a question?
Yeah, I think it's really important.
Will the gentlelady yield?
No, I don't yield. I don't even have time. I can tell you.
Your time's expired.
It is expired, but Mr. Chair, but you all live here, and you're not telling people the beautiful parts that you do see in our nation's capital. And no, it's just wrong how we're doing it.
Chairman, I think it's insane if the gentlelady doesn't have an argument, but she's going to refer to me and some of my colleagues. We were from the Third Reich. This is insane. It's insane. It's insane. It's insane. Do I look like a member of the Third Reich to you, Ms. Tlaib? Is that what I look like to you?
You're the one taking your voting card.
Is that what you think? Is that what you think? Is that what you think?
No, that's unethical.
I think it's radical and I think it's insane. And I'll respect everything that you say. But to say something like that to myself and a lot of my colleagues is way out of line. It's way out of line. It's way out of line.
Regular order, Mr.
Way out of line.
Regular order.
That's okay. But it's okay, right?
That is not how it goes.
It's okay, right?
You hold yourself accountable before you talk about
Hold myself accountable. Hold your own self accountable. How about that? Hold your own self accountable. How about that?
Free DC and make sure you vote with your own voting card. Don't be giving it to somebody else.
Ms. Tlaib, all right, time. Chair recognizes Ms. Boebert from Colorado. Wait a minute, Ms. Boebert. All right.
What just happened on the floor of Congress is exactly why millions of Americans have had enough of the radical left. During a committee hearing on Washington, D.C. policy, Representative Rashida Tlaib stood at the microphone and did what Democrats do best. She reached for the most extreme comparison in the playbook: fascism, the Third Reich, against her own colleagues sitting right across the aisle. But this time, it didn't land the way she planned. Byron Donalds, calm, composed, and completely in control, turned to face her and asked one simple question. Do I look like a member of the Third Reich to you? The room erupted. Members were talking over each other, the chair was hammering for order, and the whole hearing descended into chaos. But Donalds never raised his voice once. That's the difference between a leader and a performer. Tlaib was performing. Donalds was leading. She spent her floor time telling Americans that D.C. is a beautiful, thriving city, that the crime, the disorder, the federal overreach narrative is all made up. She told D.C. residents they should feel proud. But then she turned around and called her colleagues Nazis. You can't lecture anyone about defamation when you're busy comparing elected representatives to Hitler's regime. Donalds called it what it was: radical, insane, way out of line. And he was right. There is no version of responsible democratic debate that includes invoking the Third Reich against colleagues simply because you disagree with federal policy. None. What this clip shows you is the state of the modern Democrat Party. No arguments, no solutions, just escalating rhetoric, chaos, and victimhood. And when someone like Byron Donalds holds the line with nothing but composure and one pointed question, it exposes every bit of it. If you're tired of watching this country get talked down to by people who call patriotism fascism, this channel is for you. Hit that like button right now, share this video with every American who needs to see it, and subscribe so you never miss a moment like this. And drop a comment below. What was the most shocking part of this exchange for you?